Hi, my name is Aline from MasterYourWeb. You are watching HTML tutorial for absolute beginners, and in this video we will be writing our first HTML. So the first thing that we gotta do before writing our code is to install an editor. What is an editor? Well, an editor is basically just a program in which we'll be writing our code. The reason for writing our code into an editor instead of writing it into WordPad or Microsoft Word is that the editor is more specialized in writing that code because it has a lot of features which makes the process of writing the code a lot easier for us. And that's a really good reason if you ask me, because it's a lot more simple and efficient to write code into a specialized program rather than into a simple text editor. And the way we do it is we go into Google and we write Visual Studio Code download. Then we go into their official website. From there you have the option to install it depending on your operating system. For me, I'm gonna choose the Windows version, but of course that you are free to choose the Linux version or the Mac version. And I'll just click on the Windows one and the installation will automatically begin.
One eternity later.
Great! After the installation has been completed, we will open the setup and just accept the agreements. Make sure to have those options checked because it's enable us to, like among others, it's gonna enable us to right click on a folder or a file and we'll have the option to open that file or folder with Visual Studio Code, which is a really handy tool. That tool is especially gonna be useful when we will be dealing with larger projects in which we will have multiple files. So it's gonna be a good option to have those options checked. We go into next and we will press install. I won't press the install button since I already have installed Visual Studio Code on my local computer, but please feel free to press it and I will just cancel it. So I have created a project called HTML tutorial. Once we open it, we have the option to right click on it and open with the code. So basically open the whole project, which in our case is going to be an empty project. We will have the option to open that project with Visual Studio Code. And I guess that right now you will start to see the benefits of using Visual Studio Code, because just imagine like if you have a large project which will contain a lot of different assets, for example different files, images, other text files that you have to include into your project, it's gonna be a lot easier to just right click on that particular folder and click open with the code, and basically all of those files will automatically be over here into the Visual Studio Code without us having to open like every file particularly. So after opening the Visual Studio Code, we will close this guide and we will go into File, create a new file, and right from the beginning we will press Ctrl and S so that we will save our file. And we will name it HTML tutorial 1.html. And this suffix is going to be really relevant because the HTML stuff is going to tell the browser that okay, we are working with an HTML file. So we save it right now and let's actually see how our file will actually look like. Alright, so now you can see that this file has the Google Chrome icon, at least for me, which means the fact that by default, if we double click on this particular file, it's going to open it with Google Chrome. So let's try to open it. Okay, and of course it is expected the fact that since we haven't written anything into our code, nothing happens. But still, this is going to be our file that we will be working on and we will soon start to write code in it. So let's close it and open Visual Studio Code again. Alright, so remember the first video in which I've told you about those things called tags? Tags are nothing but special elements which HTML can understand and work with It doesn't have any special meaning to us, but it's gonna have an important meaning to the browser, because the browser sees those tags and it's gonna structure the result according to those tags. So the first tag that we'll be writing is gonna be the HTML tag. And you see that over here, by the time I'm closing the HTML tag, it's gonna create like the automatically closing one. Alright, so this is gonna be the opening tag for the HTML with this structure, and this is gonna be the closing tag for the HTML. The only difference is gonna be this slash over here. So basically the structure is gonna be the same for all of the tags, so you don't have to worry. And once you start looking more into those, it's gonna become more simple to just write specific tags, okay? Now our next tag is gonna be the head tag, which we won't cover right now because it's gonna be a special tag which we'll be covering into another separate video. So for now, at least for now, we won't have to worry about it. But the tag that we will need to worry about it is going to be the body tag, okay? And it's going to be the same structure. We will open that tag and after that we will close it. And inside we will be writing our first application. Hello world, okay? We're going to press Ctrl S to save it. We're going to minimize this and we'll just double click on the application to see the end result. And voila! Basically our application is online. Great! Of course that this is a really simple application, but it's basically the starting point from which we will continue working on. Okay, so let's recap what we have done so far. So we have created a file called html-tutorial1.html. Remember the fact that we have added the suffix of .html, which is going to be relevant for all of the HTML that we create. And inside that file, we have created the following structure. We have started with the HTML, and after that, we have automatically added the closing tag for the HTML. Then we have the next tag of head, which we said that we won't cover into this video, but we will rather cover it into an upcoming video. And then what we have is we have started the body tag, which is going to be the place where we will write our content that will be available for the browser, okay? And at least for now, inside the body tag, we have written hello world, okay? So what we can do right now is try to erase hello world and just write I have learned to build a simple website using HTML, triple exclamation mark. We save that and you will see that one of the awesome point in using HTML is the fact that by the time you save your changes, and let's close the browser and open that again. So by the time you save the changes, boom, the application is updated. So that's really, really great. So I think that was all in this tutorial. Into our next tutorial, we will dive into more complex topics such as divs and spans. But at least for now, you don't have to worry about those. We'll cover those into our next tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content and if you consider that it's at least 1% relevant, then please leave a like, a share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you on the next one.